Hello guys, it's me Urahara, and in this video I will talk about the strongest Shinigami who use Kido, which includes the Hado and Bakodo. And I don't think there is a Bleach lover who doesn't like the Kido topic and the characters who use it. And I find it like ninjutsu in Naruto, especially the Kido is one of the 4 types of fighting that the Shinigami use. There are Zanjutsu, which is fight with sword, Zanpakuto, and Hakoda, which is hand-to-hand fight, like Taijutsu in Naruto. And Ho-Ho means the Shimpo, and the last thing is Kido, which is our topic today. And the special thing about Kido is that it doesn't need a big spiritual power, as much as needs to control and focus your spiritual power. However, it needs a big spiritual power when you want it to be effective and useful in the fights. How? For example, you find someone like Zaraki who has a great spiritual power, but he can't use Kido and can't learn it. While in the other side, we have Nanao and Rukia. Since they were in the academy, it is known that they were excellent in Kido. Even Nanao was about to join Kido Corps because of that, but as I said, your distinction in using Kido doesn't necessarily means you are the strongest as long as you don't have great spiritual power to make it effective, and also to let you use the high levels of Kido. Therefore, the more you reach a higher level, the more you need more strength and skills. And based on that, for a Shinigami to be strong in Kido, it must be originally strong in general, so he can use Hado and Bakodo of normal levels, I mean between 70 and 80, and those Kido must be effective as I said. And finally, and the most important, is to use a high level, which is 90 and above. But as I said, these things are related to the strength of the user, so for all this my list will not contain the ex-Kido Corps members, and I mean Teisai and Hachi, because this is their specialty. And also this list will mainly focus on Shinigami who used Kido many times and was very effective, taking into account the power of the Shinigami. So let's go guys. And the start will be with the 8th Kenpachi Azashiro Soya from Spirits Are Forever With You novel. I prefer to put him in the bottom of list even though he used many Kido spells, but since he's from novel and there is no official translation of it, I made him in this rank. So the first thing we can say about Azashiro Soya is that he broke a lot of known things about Kenpachi's name. The image we have about them has always been associated with brutality and thirst for fighting, and especially with sword fighting, like what we saw about Zaraki in Yachiro Urahara. But Azashiro is far away of this. First, he's nobleman from a family that was famous in using sword arts and special in Kido, and they were like that for centuries before Soya's birth, and this made Azashiro Soya naturally had the genes to be able to learn Kido faster than normal people in my opinion. And also his Zanpakuto Uruzakuro helps him in that through a technique called Ututsu that enables him to copy his mouth and hands so he can perform hundreds of Kido spells at the same time, and he used this on Zaraki in the Dangai, and this is show you how professional he is, because as I said, Kido needs skills more than power to use it. So imagine with me to use hundreds of Kido at the same time. It's something crazy, and Azashiro can easily do that by that technique. And in the final fight between Azashiro and Zaraki, he used the Hado 96 Itokatsu several times at the same time on Zaraki. That's why when we talk about Azashiro Soya, we are talking about a person born with the talent of using Kido, and the fact that his ancestors were Kido professionals as well as his Zanpakuto helps him with that. I think if Azashiro was in the manga, he will be the true counter of Aizen in everything, especially in using Kido. And number 4, we have Yamamoto. There is no much thing to say about Yamamoto using Kido, because Kobo didn't show us a lot about Yamamoto using Kido, except the scene everyone knows, which is against Aizen Sosuke. He used the Hado 96 Itokatsu without incantation, and despite he was so damaged of his own fire, but that Kido was very strong and would have killed Aizen. And of course Yamamoto can use other Kido spells, such as what we saw in the last arc filler. He used the Bakodo 81 Danku without saying the number of it. And number 3 is Ichibi. He also like Yamamoto, who doesn't have a lot of scenes of Kido, but as we saw, he has a great ability to use Kido and also show us a new ways how to use it. And the example of that in his fight against Yoabach. He used Bakodo 62 without saying the type and the number of it, and also he used the secret Hado number 3, and that Kido was so powerful that destroyed easily Yoabach's blood vein. And so we are with number 2, Oharakirsky, one of the most professional in Kido, and he likes to fight using it, alongside with Aizen. And as you know, Kido is the way of intelligent Shinigami to fight. I mean, just look at Aizen, Kiski, even Byakuya has that sense of intelligence, and he used Kido in all of his fights. Oops, except his fight against Ace Knot. Anyway, that's another topic, and let's go back to Urahara. And so Urahara's fight against Aizen was a proof to his mastery of Kido. He used a Bakudo without saying the number of it, like Ichibi in the manga and Yamaji in the filler. Also, a few moments later and in a seconds, he used 2 Bakudo spells, 63 and 79 in one run, and after that a high level Hado which is 91. All this happened in just a few moments. And in the last arc filler, Kiski used Bakudo 75 without saying the number, and also used Bakudo 99 first part Kin on Ichigo, and that's make him the only one used both Hado and Bakudo of level 99, because he used the Hado 99 in the last novel of Can't Fear Your Own Word against Aura, and Hado 91 too. So that makes him, with Aizen, the only 2 people that used 90 level of Hado many times. And the first place, who could it be? It's him, the lover of Kido, Aizen Sosuke. Aizen Sosuke, I consider him the most powerful in using Kido. Like I said in the beginning of this video, Kido doesn't need a big strength to learn it, but it needs more power to use a high levels and make it very effective. And so Aizen Sosuke has these qualifications since he was just a Shinigami. As we noticed, every Shinigami has a favorite Kido to use. For example, Hisagi used Bakudo 62. But when we talk about Aizen, you directly think of Hado 90, and we saw how he defeated Sajin easily without using incantation. Just a normal 90 was enough to put Sajin down, and that's why I said if a Shinigami has a great spiritual power and a good experience in using Kido, the Kido will be more strong and more effective rather than the other Shinigami who use the same Kido. In the Pendulum flashback, Aizen used Bakudo 81, Danku, and we saw how Tisai was surprised because that Bakudo could protect Aizen from Hado 88 of the captain of Kido Corps, and looks how it was big. And if we compare it to Byakuya's Danku against Zomari, really a big difference. And not forget the Hado 90 that he used against Ichigo. We won't talk about that it was useless against Ichigo, who was in different level of power at that time. But let's talk about what Aizen said. He used a full incantation in a mode that breaks Shinigami and Holo levels. All of this gave us a perfect Hado, which can distort space and time. And we didn't saw any Kido able to do that except the Forbidden Kido of Tisai. So Aizen was loyal to this Hado, and he used it in the final arc. It was bigger and more powerful, and in the last chapters of the story he used that Hado 99, and he is the only one using it in manga, and Kiski in the novel.